There's a Disney right now, of course, ahead of earnings, and they have spiked to the highest level of the day just in the last few minutes here. Of course, investors all waiting for the earnings report to come out after the bell. They're certainly hoping for a visit to the happiest place on earth when Disney reports earnings after the bell today. From California to Florida to Bollywood, we're going to the House of Mouse. I like that. On 3 versus Trish today. Matt Harrigan with me, watching the fundamentals. J.C. O'Hara has his eye on the charts, and Andrew Keene with the options trade for you today. Matt, we're just talking about the stock price here. Investors very optimistic ahead of earnings today. Are they getting a little too optimistic?
Well, I don't think they're going to be as happy as Eli Manning was today. I think the quarter is going to be a little stuck in the mud. Great franchise long term, but I think we're going through an investment cycle right now. I don't think the quarter is going to be great.
This is a stock that's seen a recent run-up. We just had an analyst on the other day. Adam did a great insight in action earlier, basically saying a very similar thing that, you've seen so much upside. It's questionable whether that can continue. You agree with that. Tell me why.
Well, I think looking in the rearview mirror on the quarter, you can see that there are some real issues at ESPN in terms of the timing of some events and ABC. Ratings, and then the studio had a fairly, weak slate. So I think the issue is, how it looks, going forward relative to this last quarter. But I still don't think on a relative fundamental basis it's hugely attractive here. But I'd be very surprised if people were that thrilled with the quarter. You
got some concerns on the fundamental side, but I know J.C. O'Hara is watching the charts for us, and he is seeing some bullish trends. Talk to me about those, J.C.
Well, first of all, let me just say, Eli Manning went to Disney, so as an investor, I want to go to Disney as well, and I'll tell you why. This company actually heavily invested in its parks, in its resorts, when the economy was really getting hit hard. And now, as the economy starts to get better, investors are actually taking a look at Disney. I mean, we're up 40% from the October lows. It's been a relative outperformer against the S&P. Recently, it's actually been trading sideways, and which is healthy after that 40% move.
Hey, J.C., you're sounding a lot like a fundamental guy to me. Tell me about those technical aspects.
Well, listen. Yesterday, the stock actually broke out of a 4-week consolidation range that was actually trading sideways. It broke above 40. Now we're looking at the stock to go approach 44 as a price target.
Okay. Andrew, you also have a bullish trade, options trade on this one. Tell me about it.
Yeah, actually, before the stock was trading 40.65, and I tweeted it out. I bought the March 41.43 call spread. I paid 70 cents for this. It can be worth $2. I also see getting up to $44. I think Disney's going to benefit from the global recovery. I think they're going to do well. The only thing I'm kind of concerned about, the ESPN's viewership in the BCS polls was down year over year, so that's a concern for me. But Disney's been very strong. It's not one of these stocks like J.P. Morgan that ran up into the quarter, and I think it's going to sell off. I think it's going to continue higher, and it can go up to those May highs of $44. We see the S&P close to those May highs around 1350, 1370. I think Disney's got one more leg up. It's implying about a 5% move. We see calls outweighing the puts 3-1. So I think it's going higher. I'd seen about 43 to 43.5 after the bell.
Okay, there's a report today, Matt, that I want to ask you about, that Univision, the Spanish language channel, and Disney are joining forces to create a 24-hour cable news operation. Tell me what you know about that, what you're looking to hear about that on the call this afternoon.
Oh, I think it's very credible that they would do something with Univision. It really makes a lot of sense. Disney's very cognizant of demographic and emerging market opportunities, including in the U.S. But it's not material at all to Disney stock, even over a 3 to 5 year period.
Now, according to reports, Matt, it's expected that this station that will be run by Univision, which is of course a Spanish language station, is actually going to be in English. So that kind of struck me as somewhat surprising, but again, we don't have all the details. We're looking for those on the call today. What's your take?
I think it certainly makes more sense for it to be on Spanish. I mean, foreign language, shows like, Deutsche Welle and all that in English, really haven't, resonated, stateside. So unless you're the BBC, I don't see what the point of doing something in English is, quite frankly, as opposed to Spanish.
Okay, and one more time back over here to JC. The charts are suggesting more of a bullish pattern, but let me just ask you, how much more room can the stock really have to run?
Well, technically, the count that I'm looking for is, since we traded in a sideways pattern, it's a flag pattern, which is usually half. the distance of the final move. So the first move brought it up into 40. Took a nice healthy pause, and now I expect $4 on top of that move, breaking out of 40, so that's why I'm looking at a $44 price target.
Okay, and I see you have your New York Giants tie on. There you go.
It's a very
today.
happy day for us.
Hey, Andrew, I pulled one of your moves the other day, the whole straddle thing, because, I grew up in New Hampshire, so I had to support the Patriots because of that, but I live in New York now, so I had to support the Giants because of that. So I had it all covered. Page out of your book.
Yes.
Andrew's known for some of his straddle trades. Anyway, great to see all you guys. Thank you very much. Here's the cheat sheet for you. Matt Harrigan has a hold on Disney. Our technician, J.C. O'Hara, sees a bullish breakout. And Andrew Keene has a bullish options trade.